Welcome, everyone, to today's Not So live stream, episode number 2 of our Avowed Ranger gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes. First of all, this video is being recorded and is being put up on the playlist because the live stream that we had scheduled for Wednesday evening was working fine for a little bit, but then was severely derailed by technical issues. Don't know what was causing it. It was very strange. But the OBS software was picking up certain things from the game and not other things from the game. It was very weird. The screen would be fine, but then as soon as I would hit run, and start to run on the screen, the video feed to OBS would flip out. And then a little while later after that, my game would end up crashing. So I did some troubleshooting, looked up a bunch of things, ended up uninstalling every NVIDIA piece of software, including all the drivers that I have, reinstalled everything from scratch, updated all of my drivers to the latest, and ran some testing yesterday, and it appears to be working. So I'm going to record 3 hours here. I'm going to start over. If anyone was in for the first 30 or 40 minutes of that live stream, I'm going to start over from where I began, and we're going to replay that, and then I'm going to upload it here, put chapter markers on it so that you'll be able to see it. I did post about this on my social media, and I did put up a post in the community tab. So take a look at those if you want a little more information. But again, I do apologize for those who were there for the Wednesday evening live stream. It did not go as planned, and no idea what changed either during one of the game patches or in an NVIDIA driver update that caused that problem, but hopefully we got it worked out. So our second admin note is about the game itself, and we've had 2 patches come up this week. The 1.23 patch was released on Friday, the 21st of February, and the 1.24 patch was released today at the time of this recording, which is Thursday, February 27th. Both of these are really large patches. The day 1 patch was fairly small. These 2 patches are really ramping up the quest blocker bug patches, the gameplay, and some balance passes patches, audio user interface updates, and all sorts of stuff. I'm not going to go through all of them. They are 2 very long sets of patch notes. Suffice to say that there are a lot of quest blockers that have been fixed in both of these patches. So if nothing else, please go through and update your game before you get too far into it. There's even an issue really early on in the first main quest line that you're going to be doing, which we will see today, that you definitely want to make sure that you have patched so it is not available for you. So please make sure you've updated to 1.23 and 1.2.4 so that your game is completely up to date. I think that's it on our admin notes. So on our recap, last week we went through character creation. We went through the prologue, we landed on the shore near Paradise, and we went on a little exploration mission. We decided to forego any of the main quest lines or anything like that to do a little exploring. We've kind of worked our way in a circle around the west side of Paradise. We're going to work our way back down south. We're going to do a little bit of exploration inside the coastal town here, and we're going to pick up and complete one of the main questline quests here, and hopefully we're going to pick up our first unique weapon today. So let's go ahead and jump in here. And if you remember right, we ended last stream by having this group of Xaurip here that we could attack. We are not going to do that. Instead, we are going to head back to the beginning, to Clavinger's Landing, the beacon here. And we're going to head north into the city directly, or into the outskirts of the city. You won't get access to the city of Paradise until a little bit later. So we're going to head in here, and we're going to take care of a couple of things. And the first is this group of vendors here. So we have 3 vendors. We have a weapon vendor, a weapon and armor vendor, a miscellaneous tools and equipment vendor, and a food vendor.
Greetings, friend. You look like you could use a fine weapon or a sturdy shield. Not to worry, Volter is here. I suggest you take a look at my wares before you speak to Daggerda. Who knows what mood she's in today?
Okay, and you see that we can purchase some items here. We already have found quite a few items on our own, but this is going to give you access to grenades and most of the common weapons in the game. You're also going to have access to a fine quality arquebus and a fine great hammer. Fine level we're going to learn a little bit more about once we finish this first quest here that we're going to be doing. But there is a lot of gold requirement for some of these things. And we're not going to be interested in purchasing anything from him yet, but we are going to be purchasing something from the merchant next door.
What harm could some... Heading out to the wilds? Make sure you have everything you need. You don't want to...
Kai, I told you not to show your face around here again.
Come on. You're not still mad about that hunting knife, are you?
All right, no. You're clear. But you better pay up front this time.
I knew you'd come around. You miss me.
I'll let you think that.
I don't mind him.
What are you interested in?
Yeah, some of the oldest in Paradise. He's a headache, but that's because you want him to come back alive.
So you do care.
I lied to the Garrote for you. Do I have to spell it out?
Okay, now here one of the most important things that you're going to be able to find are the lockpicks. Lockpicks, I cannot overstress how important lockpicks are in this game. There are chests that you will find early on here that only require 1 lockpick, but there are also chests that will require 2, 3, or more lockpicks just to open a single chest. And if you do not have a sufficient quantity of them, you won't be able to unlock that chest. So, being able to buy lockpicks is a very useful thing. We have 3 of them right now. We're going to buy all 3 of these. Now, there is no reliable way of resetting a vendor's inventory that I know of. You just have to go out, do some quests, and come back. Taking a short rest, taking a long rest, quote unquote, at your party camp doesn't seem to do it. You need to go out into the world and do some stuff and come back. So whenever you come back, come here, pick up however many lockpicks she has, and then go out and do more stuff. We're also going to pick up the treasure map here. It's only 100, so we're going to pick it up. Okay, we're going to add this to our journal. And then we have the Wayfarer's gloves here as well. So we've already picked up the Wayfarer's boots. Slowly regenerate health while walking. This is the next in the Wayfarer set. Power attacks deal 5% bonus fire damage. Now, they're expensive, but we're going to pick these up here as well. Okay, and we are definitely going to equip these.
Protect that pretty face.
Okay, and get rid of the Van Braces with plus 15% stun. There's a reason for this, and that's because we do power attacks all the time with our ranged weapons, and we're going to be getting another ranged
Armor and
weapon here
shields for sale, envoy.
pretty quick. Okay, so the last one is the food vendor.
Welcome to Dawnshore, Traveler. My name is Dagerda. You seem like you could use a nice potion or a bite to eat. And I promise a safe and pleasant transaction, despite whatever Volter told you. Ha! I'm sure he did. He'd rather chase off my customers than admit he was wrong. To be honest, stranger, I'm not inclined to go into it. He knows what he did. And let's leave it at that.
Okay, so these two are now divorced, and there's something that you can complete with both of them a little while later. For now, you can look at their wares, and you're able to buy both health and essence potions, which are nice, but also food. So if you're looking to do some of the food crafting, which we're going to look at here in a little bit, then this is a place to pick up some of your ingredients from.
The Living Lands are a dangerous place. A newcomer like you.
Don't let the name fool you. The Strangleroot used to be a nice place.
Okay, so right where we came in, we have the Sparrowhawk hideout here. You're not going to be able to get into this right now. We will be able to get into this a little bit later. You also see that we have some parkour opportunities here. We're going to hold off on that for a second. And we're going to head over here, just look around a little bit, and we have
Please,
a quest
how hard is
marker
it to
here.
answer a question?
I don't trifle with souls, ma'am.
They're tearing my home apart. Never mind. I can't believe how rude everyone is around here. How hard could it be to find a watcher? I have a little money, if that's what you mean. I assumed I'd have to pay the watcher, though. I have a strange problem, you see.
Okay, we have a perception option here.
I'm clearly under some kind of curse. A band of Xaurips invaded my house. What am I gonna do? Why did they do anything? They've probably eaten all my food and destroyed my supplies. I don't know what else. First, my ship gets attacked by pirates. Then none of my plants will take. Now this happens? And they won't let me into Paradise to sort it out? The militia. They're scared of some plague. At least that's what they say. I wonder if it's really the Adirans. Keep us out and themselves in. I should never have come here.
Come here for a better life and find a worse one. Wish I hadn't heard that before.
Then take my house key. It's northwest of here. That cabin on the cliff all by itself. Gods know I can't go back. And there's nothing to steal either. The Xaurips saw to that. Come back when you've dealt with them. And make sure you get their leader, too. I'm sorry, but I don't think they'll go quietly. You'll have to kill them. Still, I know it's a dirty job. Thank you. That may not be worth much coming from a stranger, but I mean it.
Hey, now we've seen Dehengen's cabin before. Dehengen's cottage is up here, and we're gonna end up going up here to clear out a little bit of this. So we're gonna make our way over there kind of around this way, though, after we finish a little bit more here in Claviger's Landing. So again, we do have, looking up here, looks like we have some parkour opportunities. But we can go looking through here a little bit, do a little bit of looting in some of these areas. We're going to head up this way.
I've come in search of lost treasures.
And there's a
Have you
notice
heard?
here. To come to the top of Magran's Assay to see what you're made of. Cosmina the Weapon Master.
Any rumors
And that
of
is
such things in
definitely
the
what we
area?
are going to do.
We're
We're going to take a little detour on the way up there first.
To the north, just
Because
across the
here
river
you
from
can
the
see that we do have
The Pargrunar
some
saints
looting
have left behind many
opportunities around
Very
here.
good.
But how to get up there?
You will be justly
Okay,
compensated
well,
upon my return.
the way around,
Yeah,
we're going to
sure.
head around
Just
back
be
here.
careful, all right? The land is no dangers to the
And pick up some spring berries, and we can head up on the roof here. Now, this is that building that we were looking at. Okay, this is the building, this is the roof of the traders, or the building right next to the traders. And we have a lockbox here that's not locked. We can just open it. Okay, we have more over here. This is the backside of the sparrow hideout. Okay, and now this building here is the building that has the locked chest in it. Okay. So we can make our way up on the roof. We can start looking around for ways into this place. First thing up here on top, we have some silver finnings that we can loot. And be careful when you're dropping off of things. You tend to carry a lot of momentum. So you want to make sure you're going off slow, or else you're pushing back toward the building once you're in free fall. And here we have a window that we can gain access to this chest over here.
Don't get too used to the comforts of paradise.
And then looking down, okay, you can see that other chest down below us here. And you can see here, the chest requires 3 lockpicks to unlock. We have 6, and this is again why we purchased those lockpicks. And we get some gold and some very valuable crafting items out of here. There's also a common spear you can pick up. We can unbar the door and we can leave. Okay, so that's the first thing to look at over here. The second thing is this building here. And I don't think I can't honestly can't remember. This is the passageway building, right? Okay, yeah, this is the tavern. So there's food items in here, and there's some really good food items in here as well. So make sure you come in here and pick up all of the food. None of this is stealing. It's all just take whatever you want. So don't miss out on it. And then we can do some more parkour. So looking around these areas, that roof there we don't need to get onto. We've already been inside of there, so I don't think there's anything more. This roof we can get onto a bit easier way. Let's go over there and check these rooftops next. You can come across here. And this rooftop. Okay, nothing up here. And we have this passage. Okay, there's a book up here that you can read about the Iberian Empire, and it will add it to your journal. And again, just doing a little more parkour to see if there's anything that we have access to up here. Doesn't look like there is. So yeah, it's really that roof there that has the journal on it. Okay, so we're gonna head over this way again, right where we were. And we're going to deal with Magran's Assay next. And for this, you want a high damage weapon. So I'm going to change my loadout here. I'm going to change my bow here to have the common pistol, I think. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the common pistol here. And I think I can... Yeah, I can. So I'm actually going to change these. Okay, so I'm dual wielding these. And this is Magran's Assay here. Okay, now a couple of things that we want to do. So we're going to go looking around out here. Just make sure there's nothing that we want. And before we head in, we're going to head in the front here. And there is common axe here, and then you can head up on the sides. And pick up a couple of potions. And then head around back. Some grog, which is going to be very, very useful. Back here, we have another chest. Okay, now you can climb up back way there, or you can come around back to the front entrance again. Either one, doesn't matter. And head up here. Once you get into this second area here,
Sorry, boys. Seems luck is on my side. Tildy at the
you'll find a little more coin and some
I
food.
saw her give you those lucky dice. Oh, I think you're just jealous that she likes me more than you.
If
So
she
don't
likes
skip out
you
on
that
any of
much,
this.
why is she still charging? Shut up and roll, you two.
Then you head up to the very top. Now, before you tie, and these are all the same test your metal letters that we've already read. Before you go do anything, there's some food here, and around back you have another chest. Now this one, again, you need a lockpick. Just one this time, though. And now here is Cosmina. Now, for Cosmina, what you're going to end up doing, if you're playing as a ranger here, is you're going to root her in place. Well, first, you're going to get one free attack, basically. So once you finish talking to her, she's going to attack you. It takes her a little bit to get her weapon out and focus on you. You're going to get one free attack out of it. And then you want to root her in place. So you want to have your hotkey set up to the tangle root so that you can lock her down in place. You're then going to trigger Kai's special ability, number 2, to get even more damage on her. And by that time, she should be ready to surrender. If not, you can just hit her a couple of more times and while she's rooted in place, and you should be okay. We're still going to drop a save here, just in case. And then we're going to talk to Cosmina.
Another recruit. By the flames, Cynric finds the strangest types. Oh, you do ya? If you think you're so tough, why don't you prove to me what you've got? Spar with me. I'll take on you and your big blue friend.
If you're sure, I've got plenty of reach.
Oh, it'll be fun, all right. In Magran's name, prepare yourself.
Okay, and then immediately back up. Okay, root her in place. Have Kai do his.
All right, I yield. Well done. You have... It's clear I underestimated your prowess. Fierce as a Rathoon you are, envoy. Now for your prize. Our surplus includes a large hammer, an arquebus, a spear, and a wand. What say you, huh?
Okay, now for us, we are definitely taking the arquebus. This is probably the first opportunity you're going to get to find an arquebus. This is high damage, long range, but it takes a very long time to reload.
Aha, the blessed firearm. Its flames burn brighter and faster than any I've seen before. With it, you will destroy your enemies. The arquebus, then? It's no godhammer bomb, but it will serve you well. Fear not the flames, envoy.
And that's going to give us an arquebus. Now, the thing about the arquebus also is that it fires perfectly straight. There is no drop on the projectile. So wherever you aim is wherever it's going to go, which is going to be really, really nice for us to have. The high damage also means you do high damage to weak points, and that's going to become very, very useful to us as we try and get the unique weapon that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so we can test it out and you can see. So aiming down sights, it's perfectly straight. Okay, so you can see it's a long reload time. That's fine for us. As we head down here, we're going to head over here and jump up, and you can see this is the rocks I told you about on the backside. We're going to jump up here. There's a backpack, some more grog, and a health potion. Okay, so now looking at our map, let's go over here and head to Dehengen's cabin. Alright, so we're going to head around the Assay. We'll kind of head back down this way just to open up the map a little bit. There's nowhere down here that we need to explore. This is all areas that we've been to before. The only way to get there is to go around the north side of Magran's Assay. And we'll... Okay, yeah, I guess we're tracking it and we can't untrack
the
it.
living lands will stop to let you rest. Pick up that weapon and keep training.
Okay, so we'll head up here.
Venture past the palisades at your own risk. There's no guarantee of safety out in the wilds.
Okay. And we'll just quickly search here, and we've got 2 palisades that lead us out to the north and then lead us out to the west. We're going to head to the west, and we're going to head back over to the Fractured Shore. And we've already cleared out a lot of this, but we are going to go to Dehengen's cabin, which is straight up there. And as you see, we haven't explored any of this yet. There's a waypoint up here. And then you can see that we have some enemies starting to show up on the map.
This is Dehengen's place, or was. It's the Xaurip's now.
And this is going to level us up to level 3, and if you're not level 3 by now, you can go out and do some little explorations to get up to level 3, because level 3 is pretty important. As a ranger, we're going to get access to steady aim. So holding your power attack with a bow or a gun will slow time by 25%. That is definitely going to be a big help for us, and we want to pick it up. For a character, I'm also going to put 1 point into intellect, and there's a reason for that. Okay, and then these 2 you can see are inside the cabin. The door's locked, but we do have the key. Now, the other thing about the arquebus that it said in the tooltip is that it's very loud and it alerts enemies very easily. So keep that in mind when you're doing things like shooting at barrels and that sort of stuff. You can very easily alert enemies to your presence. Okay, on Soul Twins. So you learn that there is such a thing as twinned souls. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that as we continue this. Okay, and there's a back way into Dehengen's cottage here. Oops.
Quiet as that.
And if you're quiet in here and you're not shooting your firearm off, you're going to be okay. And you learn a little bit more about what's happening with Dehengen and the Xaurips.
Anything juicy? Maybe it has something to do with that wall painting in the other room. Let's check it out.
Okay, so we know that there's now something with a wall painting that we want to look at. But now you can look through this hole in the wall and you can see that we have a Xaurip there. And I believe there's a Xaurip forager right here. Okay, but again, with us, we have the key to the front door, so we're just going to go around the front door. It's going to give us more room to maneuver. That's the same main room there.
Mind me not to spook you.
Here we go!
Okay, so you can see with the Arquebus, and I keep doing that instead of left alt. With the Arquebus, you're going to be able to one-shot a lot of the Xaurips, which is a very good ability to have early on here. Okay, and here's the wall painting that Kai mentioned.
I'm no art critic, but I've never seen a mural like that. Looks like an elf and Xaurip holding hands. What do you see? Why don't we ask Dehengen about it? It's her house. She ought to know something.
Okay, so there's a picture here of an elf and a Xaurip. Now, there is another Xaurip around here. And that's over here in this other unexplored area. There are some dead Xaurips here. And then we've got another Xaurip here. Now this one's not marked red.
What's that Xaurip doing out here all by himself? A friendly Xaurip. Don't see that every day. Of course, you don't see them fighting their friends every day either.
And here, if you either have Might 2 or Intellect 2, we can attempt to imitate the Xaurip's noises.
I don't speak Xaurip, but it definitely answered you. I agree. He's not hurting anyone. In fact, we're near Dehengen's house. Maybe he's the one who made that mural.
Okay, and he is in fact the one who made the mural. And he's the mural showing him or another Xaurip, but it is him, holding hands with an elf. And that elf is in fact Dehengen. Okay, so we've kind of picked up some clues to the puzzle here, and you know, I don't know if I can get up here or not. That's a long way down. I've never tried getting up here. And I really don't want to go walking off the edge of that. Well, maybe I can get over this way. Okay, that's bad. Okay. Well, the good thing about this is that we have a waypoint right back up there. You just don't want to hit the rocks on the way down, so to speak. Okay, so we pretty much opened up all of the islands, so to speak, around Dehengen's cottage. So let's go ahead and fast travel back to Claviger's Landing. And we'll go turn this quest in.
Oh, please tell me I can go home now. You read my journal? That's private. Why would you do a thing like that? Well, I didn't do it myself. All right. I lied to you. I can't keep it up anymore. Have you ever felt aimless? Like you ought to have a purpose, but you don't. Like you'd do anything to find out why you're meant to be here. That's a stupid question, isn't it? Of course you'd understand. An animancer told me that I might have half a soul. I finally had an answer. The question was, who got the other half? I thought if I could meet this person and see what they were like, I might gain some purpose or something. And then I came here and found a Xaurip. But what do I do about it? How do I not think about what I can never have? I'm so... I've got to find some meaning in all this. I can't go back and I can't go forward. I'm just stuck here. Lost. Again. Are you serious? What does it matter? I can't understand them.
This is why I chose the intellect option, not because I really need it, but because it does open up some dialogue options that go along with this.
We could gesture. Point to things, I guess. People do it all the time. I'll go. I'll be brave. I'll find it. I really hope you're right. Oh, I forgot. You still deserve to be paid for your time, if nothing else. I didn't think... Well, it's nice to get help from an Adiran. I'll say that much.
Okay, and for that, we're now going to get our first ring, the Vindictive Band. So critical hits deal poison damage. So we're going to equip this. You can have 2 rings and an amulet all at the same time. Okay, so now we've kind of explored a little bit of Claviger's Landing. We're going to be heading around to Fellowship Harbor and that sort of stuff here in a little bit. But we are going to head up here to the workbench. So this will be the first main quest that we have picked up, or that we have followed through. And on our way, we've got another quest marker here.
Leaves, his letters won't turn up. Que larde! I'd heard the Godlike had come to Paradise.
Oh, hey, Sanza. Comes on a little strong, that's all. He doesn't bite.
But to meet you, what an honor. Who is your patron? Were you drawn to this place? A godlike of unknown provenance. Even more interesting. Who knows? Perhaps you'll find the answers you're looking for here. Listen, you haven't been to the wilds east of the city, have you? I assume that's a no? Then have you seen a cartographer in the area? Human, about my height. He must have gone farther than I thought. His name is Girmund. He's my assistant, and I'm worried about him. I sent him to map the Eastern Wilds. I knew it would be perilous, but it's been a long time since he's written, even for him. Bandits, smugglers, spiders with eyes as big as plates.
You know how many so-called adventurers I've saved out there?
It's an intrepid occupation.
3, this month.
As I said, if you find him and bring me his map, I'll be glad to pay you for it. I may even have more work for you. When he last wrote, he was mapping the eastern ruins. Take the letter. It might help. If you find him, bring his work to my shop in Paradise Town. You're welcome anytime. I have quite the assortment of curios. Maybe you'll even buy one of my maps.
And we're going to get Gearman's dispatch. And you're going to get a quest marker eventually. It's going to show you quite a bit more of where this goes out here in Andra's Reach. We're not going to be dealing with that
That's our marching orders
soon,
then.
but we are going to head out here and we're going to pick a few crafting ingredients. And then we're going to look quickly around this area, and you can see that we have Dehengen soldiers down here. Now you can talk to them; they just have one sentence answers.
If the stone wall up the road didn't last, your pointy sticks don't stand a chance, and neither do we.
However, Malthea is a different story.
Watch out once you get past the palisades. The Strangleroot is apparently hostile to life, as the scholars say. Wait a moment. Oh, Berth, eat my soul. You're the envoy. Sorry, didn't mean to be so informal. They said the Emperor sent one of his best and brightest, and Aethys knows we need the help.
Your reputation precedes you.
I hope your voyage here was smooth as good butter. I know maybe too much about rough seas, what with serving in the galleys. Did you deserve it? Kidding, kidding. Sorry to hear, envoy. The living lands is dangerous. We should be sticking together. Can't imagine what might have possessed them to do that. Hope it isn't the damn soul plague. I haven't seen anything like that before. It seems to change people. Animals. Feels sometimes like the plague is alive somehow. Sorry for the glib tongue. I've tried to be more proper before. Didn't work. I'm no good at niceties, including abiding by most rules. The law and I aren't exactly the best of friends, no. Although, I think that's Adia's problem. I was mostly just stealing food. If you're born to the wrong social class, Adia makes climbing the ranks rather difficult. Anyway, that's all in the past. Well, I spent 6 years making up for my, if you ask me, justifiable crimes. They had me working in the prison galleys for most of it. Then, a year ago, an Adirran official came to the jails and told us we could serve the Empire for a shortened sentence or rot. You can guess which I chose. Oh, you're a funny one, envoy. Free. Am I free after this? And they say the Adirran elite have no sense of humor. All in all, it's a pretty sweet deal. 3 square meals, bed of my own, maybe even a chance to retire as a clerk. Wouldn't mind being bored stupid for a few years. Better than the alternative. But first, even more palisades. He and the Clavager passed through not long ago. I didn't much like it, but they refused an escort. Less competent than he seems. You think with all the time the ambassador spends working, he'd have more done. No, I hear he's about a sneeze away from swallowing the muck he's paddling in. Poor man. Hot-tempered bastard. I think the ambassador's scared of him, but won't do a thing because the Clavager keeps the wheels turning. Good at its job, though. Purportedly. Bad about his confections. Sweet tooth like a hummingbird's. He and the ambassador make a good pair, honestly. The ambassador talks a lot. The Clavager gets the administrative day-to-day done. Honestly, I'm more scared of her than Wodika. At least I understand why the Burned Queen is so pissed. Ludwig runs the Steel Garrote, Wodika's Order of Paladins. The only thing they care about is their Burned Queen. There's honor among thieves, Envoy. But zealots, they'll raise the world for their god. About Adir, that same hungry empire that is looking to gobble up the living lands. The one that sends people out to maybe die for its ambitions. Kind of you to ask, Envoy. But truth is, not really. Adir's fair and good to the people it thinks deserve compassion. But break its trust, and well, Adir will make you crawl to retrieve the pieces. You can tell it's a place that worships Wodika. Actually, I miss the pies. The crust's all wrong here. Just take a look down the road, and you'll see the last palisades we tried to hold. And the ones before them. We're trying our best to keep the wilds at bay here, Envoy. The Strangleroot is hungry. Every day, it gets closer. Every day, weirder creatures crawl out from its foliage. Be careful if you're headed out there. Anyway, Balgrunin beer is surprisingly terrible. Always trust in a Mauen to know where the best seafood is. Pay attention when the locals tell you something, and watch out for poets. Something's odd about them. Listen, Envoy. I'm here to build defenses against the land. You want geography lessons? Go ask a cartographer. I do know a few things, though, so ask.
Okay, the rest of this is fairly straightforward. Okay, but you learn that there are Adirans here, and they're trying to hold the wall against the onslaught of the living lands. Okay, now we're gonna go do something first before we head out, and that is an Adra stone here. Now, the Adra stones serve as your...
Maybe it's superstition, but Adra like this usually marks a good spot to rest.
Or a place where you can set up your party camp. Okay, and your party camp has a few things in it. Your Adra stone here is how you leave your party camp. You can exit your party camp here. You have this shrine here,
bringing it with you,
which is a space for the Wodika totems that we picked up. Now you need to have a totem base to interact with that one.
After your voyage, it must be nice to spend
So
the night
none of
on
these
dry
were able to
land.
place
Personally,
anything
I've always found the rock
yet because we don't have a totem base. Even though we do have one of the Wodika totems, the Grand Plaque of Promises. Okay, this is a God Shrine totem fragment. We don't have any way to place these just yet. Here you have an enchanting station. So enchanting needs some of the various monster pieces that you can pick up around the world, and it also needs enchanting materials, which we've picked up a bunch of them. They have that symbol. Now, enchanting unique weapons we're not going to look at right now because we don't have any, but we will hopefully have one pretty soon. And the last thing here is the workbench. Now, this we want to look at because you can upgrade items. Okay. Now, items come in 4 tiers. You have common, fine, exceptional, and superb. And then inside each tier, you have upgrade. You have 3 upgrade levels inside of each one. Now, to cross between tiers, you have to very often have a special type of ingredient to cross between the tiers. Okay? But inside the first tier, it's normally just progressively more of the same ingredients all the way up through it. Right, now different things require different types of ingredients. So shields normally require softwood branches and paradisen ladders. Arquebuses, the same thing. When you get into breastplates and your armors, you're going to need pelts. When you get into swords and spears and anything like that made out of metal, you're going to need iron chunks. Your grimoires going to be the same, branches and paradisant ladders. And you're quickly going to find out that those two things are going to be the most useful things you can be picking up out there in the world. Okay, now if you are short of items, you can hold, or you can put your mouse over it, over an item, and you will see it says breakdown. So if you wanted to break down an Exley's grimoire, you're going to get 2 softwood branches and 2 paradisant ladders. The grimoire here, you're going to get softwood branches. So if you're short of items, you can break them down. Now the common swords, if you break them down, you can see we're going to get iron chunks, just like the upgrade material that you need. So if you're looking to gain some quick upgrade materials, don't sell your items. They're not worth a lot of gold anyway. Break them down instead. So we're going to break all these down. We're going to leave the common pistol because we're going to need that later. We've got 2 common grimoires of the elements. We're going to get rid of our bow now. Okay, so the common scale armor here, we have the breastplate, which is 18 damage reduction and 3. The scale armor is, so it's minus 25 and minus 35. This is minus 35, so we get more stamina back for a 3% damage reduction difference. The breastplate's medium armor, the scale armor's medium armor, so I think we're just going to get rid of this as well. And our old Adherent armor we can get rid of. Okay, we're going to keep all the rest of these, and the common pistol we're going to keep, but the first thing we want to focus on is upgrading the arquebus. Going from 41 to 62 is a huge increase. That's a 50% damage increase here, and you can see down at the bottom we need 6 softwood branches and 4 paradisant ladders. So we're going to upgrade it. Okay, and now going to the second one, we would need 5 paradisant ladders, which we don't have. But that would upgrade us to 82 physical damage, and that is a 33% damage increase. So you can see that the more you upgrade it, the physical damage inside your tier gets less and less percentage as you go up until you get into the next category tier. And then you start adjusting different things. Okay, so if we go up to level 3 with this, we'd be at 103, which if we're at 82, now we're at a 25% increase. Once we get into this, though, we go from 103 to 144, and that's a 40% increase. So once you start jumping tiers, you get a big jump again in damage for your weapons or defense for your armor. And speaking of our armor, if we upgrade this, we're going to get a straight +3 damage reduction. So we'll do this as well. Okay. And the last thing that we're going to do is the common pistol. And there's a reason for that you'll see a little bit later.
Nice work. That'll help against whatever we face out there. You know, for most people, getting sent to the Living Lands is a punishment. But, according to Cynric, you're the personal envoy of the Emperor of Adir himself. Quite a position. Then I dare say you're better equipped than most who wash ashore here. You must have some truly fascinating stories of past exploits. I'll look forward to it. But in the meantime, I have to wonder, why does the Emperor send his most valuable agent to the Living Lands? Oh, that almost does sound like a punishment. I don't know how you investigate a so-called plague of the soul, so better you than me. Being a godlike, I don't suppose your patron deity gives you any unique insights into matters of the soul, do they? I thought every godlike knew their god. That's one of the stranger things I've heard. And out here, that's saying something. Sorry, these are unusual times. I haven't met anyone who's really seen the Dream Scourge yet, but that hasn't stopped people from worrying about the rumors. Refugees are flooding in from outlying regions. The guards are restricting access to the city. And people are making offerings to the gods for everything from hangovers to indigestion, just in case. And here I was hoping for good news. Unfortunately, the presence of so many Adiran troops and the rumored exploits of the Strangleroot paladins supporting them is only making a tense situation worse. I think that's why the Clavenger accompanied your ambassador. Exactly. Paradise has been quiet lately, but I don't know how long that'll last. We're talking about an island that has been largely settled by nomads, exiles, and dissidents. People who tend to be suspicious of authority. But what about you? What's your stake in things? Besides your orders, of course. Someone once told me you need more than a little crazy to last out here. I get the feeling you'll fit right in. I'll let you get some rest, but thanks for talking. It's good to be part of a squad again, even if it's just for a while. It's the gateway to the Living Lands, a scenic port city that's as beautiful and dangerous as the wilds around it. Most visitors enjoy some mariner's porridge at the Ballarrock, a back alley shakedown, and then the sudden return of that porridge out of one end or the other. Then, if they've got any sense, they turn around and take their chances back where they came from, with authentic tales of their adventures in the Living Lands. Don't get me wrong. It's a great city. In part because it's great at winnowing out people who have no business being here. The Living Lands means a hard-won second chance for the people who settle here. But first, you've got to survive it. And the island gives no quarter. For a lot of people, the Living Lands is a last resort. They come fleeing war, debt, famine, the law. Take your pick. For others, it's freedom. To seek glory, to redefine yourself, to live in a way you can't, maybe even on pain of death wherever you come from. It was, for some. Not always the types you'd want as your neighbors. Used to be. If you could last out here, you could count on being left alone. That's what some fear. Ilgard's new embassy and his alliance with the Strangleroot smell like the authority and order that a lot of people came here to leave behind. But I don't mean to put that on you. I imagine you're tired of having to answer for every Adiran who sneezes into somebody's stew.
Okay, so there are some other things that you can pick up here as far as the lore goes, but I think we've learned enough, and we're going to go ahead and take our rest here. Okay, and now that we've done a little bit of questing, let's head back in and see if our lockpicks have refreshed or not. And then we're going to head out a little bit north and see if we can level up to level 4 before we try to get our unique weapon.
Protect. Time to resupply.
Okay, so see, our lockpicks are not here. There's not, like I told you earlier, there's not a reliable way that I know of to get these to refresh other than to just go out and wander around and take care of some quests. So, we're gonna head north out of the gate. And we're gonna get into a couple of encounters up here. And we're gonna start by heading over here to the left and heading toward that cave up there. Okay, now you can see we've got at least one Xaurip roaming around out front here, but there's a lot more. Okay, there are 4 or 5 more inside there. So a regular Xaurip, a Xaurip Forager, who we're going to focus on first. Try and stay hidden here. You can see there's also a young black bear who we also want to focus on. So 2 foragers and a young black bear. We're going to try and take out one of the foragers first. And we're going to do that, try and flank around to the right over here. You see the old palisade here that they tried and failed to defend. That Xaurip turned around, which is good because we're going to walk up here and get into this long grass. And wait for him to come back. Hopefully we can take him out with a sneak attack. And then we'll start working on the bear. And we'll lock the bear in place and have Kai go after him as well. Okay, here he comes. Okay, so he should face us, and then he should turn and walk that way.
Hydra on my side.
Okay, so we did manage to get
Nothing like a win with a good team.
a kill here.
Unseen, unheard.
Without being seen, which is great. So now we'll try and take out the other forager. He must be behind the black bear. He is. So we'll just go after the black bear here. Oh, there's the forager, but yeah, we can't target him. And you want to make sure when you're going after the bear that you can get that headshot to start off with. There we go.
Next one's mine.
Okay, and that's what the upgraded arquebus can do. So it's a long time to reload, but it certainly dishes out the damage, especially if you can surprise your enemies. And we got level 4, which is exactly what we wanted to do here. And there's a note here about hazing in your first job, and he went out to try and do it and ended up getting killed. Okay, so let's look at our level up again, and we're going to upgrade or actually we can't, or yes we can. We can't unlock this here, but we can upgrade this. Oh yeah, we can't do it, so that's right. At rank 2, we have to get player level 5 first. So it's the same thing here. So we do have a couple of things that we can do. We normally don't deal with parries. We can do evasive, but we don't do a whole lot of dodging. The survivalist trait is very, very useful for us. Let's look around and see what else we have. We have toughness, so increasing our maximum health by 20% is pretty good. So we'll just go ahead and up that. And this is again because I'm not all that great at playing some of these games. And then we can switch to our companions and we can look at Kai. So Kai has second wind and he's got fire and ice. So if we upgrade it again, we're going to ignite the target. If we upgrade this again, then the amount of health he gets restored is 75% of his health, not 50%. That means that he can stay in the fight longer. Okay, so he also can gain a burst of speed, or his ability cooldowns reset. I always start him with the 75% health. And then for my character here, I've got a few options up here on what I want to do. I think I'm going to up my Constitution to gain more health. Because again, this encounter that we're going to have here, now that we're at level 4, I'm going to need all that health I can get. And speaking of that encounter, let's go try and get our first unique weapon. So I'm going to go back to Claviger's Landing here. And we're going to make our way out. Now we're going to be severely underleveled for this fight. You're supposed to go and get into the City of Paradise first. And then once you're in there, you're going to be able to pick up or have access to a bounty seller. And he will sell bounties to high-value targets. And it will start marking your map on where those targets are. One of them is out here. And like I say, we're going to go try and get his unique weapon because it's going to be very, very useful for us as we go through a certain fight a little bit later on. So we're just going to make our way around here. We're going to be exploring all of this, the ship, the boat yard, and these buildings up here a little bit later. There's a lot to look at there. On our way, we can go over here and look at this vendor. I don't think I can get up there. Okay, so I can't get up there. I've got to go around.
With all the new folks in town.
Welcome, Adirin. Something you need?
Okay, we have a perception option here.
You have that look about you. You carry yourself like you have something to teach us. I don't mean anything by it. Your money spends as good as anyone else's.
Okay, in here you have raw versions of food. And I didn't go through this because I wanted to pick up these here before I showed it to you. So we're going to pick up 5 of the raw lashwing meat. And actually, I take that back. We're also going to head in
back,
here.
Adirin. What can I get for you?
If we look at our inventory under our food items, we have quite a bit of food in here, but there's something else we can do with it, because there are cooked versions of some of these foods. Okay, and the cooked versions give you a lot more health and or essence regeneration than the uncooked versions. And I want to head back to the threshold, but before I do that, I'm going to go down here and unlock another waypoint, which I think is down there. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. Now we can fast travel back here. And we're going to head back to the party camp. Because there's one more thing I wanted to show you inside the party camp, and that is the cooking area here. Now, very similar to Skyrim, there are cooking recipes. And inside of here, you can see that cooked alabaster, it takes a raw one and you get 20 health regeneration out of it. And it doesn't list what our raw ones do, but they're only 10. Okay, the turbot, we can turn that into 70 health regeneration. Same with the lashwing. The rabbit bits, you're going to get 40 health regeneration, but for each cooked rabbit, you're going to get 5 of them. So you can see that the cooked versions give you substantially higher regenerations. But also, if we go to the lashwing here, okay, so once you've cooked up, oh, and we still have some more. All right, take that back. I've got 6. Okay, I want to have these available to me because they're high health regeneration. Okay, but then you also have other things that will up your ability scores. Okay, and those things you can craft out of different combinations of items that you may have in your inventory. So the food items can be very useful. One of the most useful is grog. This cures poison, bleed, and elemental accumulations and restores health based on the amount cured. Okay, it also gives you plus 70 poison, bleed, and elemental damage resistance. And this is very, very useful in the fight that we have, that we're going to have upcoming. Now, we've already got some of these, but we can craft more of them. I'm going to craft just one using these ingredients. But now you can see we do have more available to us. And in my food inventory, you can see the new ones that are here. So I've got 4 grog, which is good. Now I'm going to leave camp, fast travel back over there. I can exit to the previous location. Okay, and where we're going is right here. Okay, there's a bounty target right there. Now, there are 2 high-level melee-based enemies with him. There's also a spellcaster, a wand user, out here somewhere as well. Now, what normally happens when you get into this fight is the high-value target will ignore you as soon as Kai rushes in. Now, the other lower tier enemies will tend to focus on you, and they'll tend to do it one at a time, which is kind of useful for us. The other thing that they will do is that they will retreat once you get far enough away from the island. And you can exploit that by attacking them, dragging them out here, and then when they start to walk away, you can get shots in on them while they're moving away. Now you have to be careful because they can move really, really fast out here. Okay, so what we want to do is we're definitely going to save here because there's a high probability that I'm going to die during this. But you want to try and focus on taking out the second tier enemies first. Once he's all by himself and Kai goes down, because Kai is definitely going to go down here, he will tend to run around the back over there of that ridge, or he will sometimes run behind this rock. If he runs behind that rock, you can jump up on here and shoot him in the head over that rock and he won't move. And that's the best of all options. It normally never works out that easy. And a lot of times what I have to end up doing is kind of climbing this rock here and shooting down on him while he's fighting Kai and trying to duck behind the rocks to avoid his pistol shots. But he's very, very dangerous. He can't one-shot you at level 4, but he can definitely two-shot you. The enemies out here can't one-shot you, but they will three-shot you. So you have to be really careful when you're doing this. So I'm going to sneak in here, and I'm not going to go after him first. Once this turns red here. Okay, so I've got a smuggler lackey there, and there's Tempestuous Luandi, and you can see he's got 3 skulls over his head. Okay, so this is a dangerous fight. So, but I'm going to focus on the lackey first, and there's the spellcaster, or that's the other lackey right there. And like I say, oh, there's the spellcaster right there. The apprentice. Now, the apprentice is easier to take out, but you have to watch because she has ranged attacks, okay, with the wand. So I'm going to go after the smuggler lackey here first. I don't think I can target the apprentice. I can't. Okay, now he's coming. Okay, so while they're distracted, start working on the others. And try and kill one of them, because they won't respawn once you kill them.
Back in the fight.
Okay, so Kai went down, and then they instantly focused me. There's one down. Okay, now Kai's down again. Okay, and there he is. And I'm hoping he runs away. Okay, if we could get a little damage in on him, we would. Here comes the apprentice. Whoops. And again, run away, cause them to retreat a little bit, and then come back. Okay, that's dead. He's dead. And now Tempestuous Luandi is the last one left. And like I say, he can run really fast. And then he'll run around the end, and you just bring him back. Eyes back up.
We've got other battles.
Okay, so Tempestuous Luandi's probably reset his health. He didn't.
Oh no,
which is nice. Oh yeah, it did. It reset his health.
Hey! Your armor's too weak here.
Okay, see, he targeted me. And I'm going to take a grog. That's going to give me elemental resistance.
Let's see what you got.
And we got him stunned, so we landed the crit. Okay, so that went very, very well, actually. But that's kind of how you play it out. You take care of his lackeys first, and then you deal with him. Okay, now he's got some stuff on him that we want to look at, but for now we're going to go do a little looting here. Okay, and there's a shipment receipt, so you learn that he's got some really strange things here that he's trying to craft. Okay, and we should have some bodies that we can search. And we'll go look around the island a little bit. We're going to come back and search him, because there is a chest here. Need a lockpick to open it. And none of these rocks are safe. Okay? All of his lackeys can climb these rocks. So don't think that you're gonna get into a safe spot up here where he can't hit you. They can all climb these rocks. So now we'll go search him. So Luandi's glass eye. Anything that you see that looks like an antlers mounted to a plaque, that's a trophy. And these are a bounty trophy, and that indicates that you can turn this in to somebody, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Karak's Pride is what we really want here. And you can see this is a unique one-handed weapon, and it comes at already to you at level 2 out of 3 common quality. Okay, and this is our first unique weapon. Okay, and then we'll pick up the spoiled cucumber. Okay, so now after this, we're going to again head back to our party camp. Because now we have a unique weapon that we can upgrade. Okay, and once you go back, it will let you know. And we can go to our workbench. And you can see that Karak's Pride, we need 4 more Paradisen ladders. Okay, to be able to upgrade it. Now, the thing about Karak's Pride here is that you can also enchant it. Now, we don't have the materials yet. Okay, we need Xaurip tongue and some awakened wood. We have the primal wind and the primal water, but we need some more. But we can enchant this. Now, what enchanting does is right now, the distant thunder perk is already active. Okay, so power attacks deal high shock accumulation. We're dealing 10% bonus shock damage with this already. Once you enchant it, you get to pick either of these 2 options. So power attacks deal high shock accumulation to nearby enemies, so it can become an AoE shock damage weapon. Or killing an enemy with this weapon has a 25% chance to cast Crackling Bolt, which will then emanate from your target out to other targets around it. So this is what enchanting does. Okay, it's only for unique weapons, but it lets you modify how that thing works. Now, like it says, only one enchantment can be chosen, and this action cannot be undone. So it is a permanent choice on what you want to do with this item. Right? So let's head back out here, and we're going to leave here because we're going to head north back into the wilds a little bit. And we're going to change our loadout here. So Karok's Pride is going to be our main hand, and our common pistol is going to be our offhand. So now we're dual wielding pistols. Okay, and if you use the 2 mouse buttons, you can see you can get a fairly decent rate of fire out of these as you're going. So can be extraordinarily useful, especially with that shock damage that this does. Now we're going to have a couple of enemies up here. And we'll kind of see how this works, because these enemies are here. And there are 3 of them.
Incoming Xaurip.
Show me what you got.
And you can see how easily we can clear out
Just like
groups
the
of
good
smaller
old
enemies, and our damage output has taken a huge increase. Okay, so that's why if you can get Karok's Pride early on, it's a huge benefit. Another lockpick, very, very useful. Okay, and now here, there's something up there, but we have to find a way up there.
Oh, look, Parodies and Ladder. When heated, the resin forms a hard coat that strengthens weapons and armor.
And the way up is over here. You can jump in through the roof and have access to the chest. And we're looking for more Paradise and Ladder. Remember, because that's what we need to upgrade Karok's Pride. The other thing about shock weapons is that if you have an enemy that is standing in water, shooting water with Karok's Pride electrifies the water, which can be a very useful little trick. Okay, you see we got another chest here on the dock. We're not going to explore the far side of the river
fishing
yet.
spot until something started dragging people away.
Okay, so now you see we got some young water beetles up here, and one of them appears to be standing in the water. And you can see that's now causing damage over time.
One for you!
To the enemy standing in it. Okay, so again, a very, very useful weapon, especially early game. So do whatever you can. If you have to save scum it, if you die a few times, do whatever you need to do to pick it up. There is something else down here in the water we're going to go get just so we don't have to come back to it. There is a crafting ingredient down here. Let's go pick up. Okay, and now we're going to go north and get into a few more fights. And we'll kind of work our way north along the river here. Doing a little bit of exploration on the way. Okay, there's a letter to home here, where you learn that the Palisades have failed and weren't able to keep everybody safe. This is where we just were. Can you see we've got some enemies up here on top of this? This is the graveyard where we were last week in Barras Gateway. We're going to kind of use this to flank around to the left here. And because that is where those enemies are, is up there on top. And we have another group of enemies here. And this is the group of enemies that we saw right at the start of the episode today. An Elder, 2 Foragers, and a Guard. And then up here, you can see that we have some more enemies. We're going to try and sneak our way up here. And get up on top of the wall.
Right behind you.
And I'm not sure if we can get up on this one. We can't. We can only get up on that
Magran
one.
built these walls and
Oops.
much of Paradis centuries ago. Much of their work still stands.
Oh, come on. Okay. So here we are on top of the wall, and we have some possible range shots. I don't know if we have the range on those. Okay, they're down there. I think we have the range on these enemies here. But, whoops. That doesn't matter. They're not gonna live long enough. I'll just,
Careful. Looks like spiders nearby.
And there are spiders over there. I'm gonna move around here and I'm gonna try and take out the Elder first. I don't like that angle though. Instead, go over here and deal with these. These three are fairly isolated. So we do have a young water beetle and we have 2 foragers.
Nice.
And yes, you can fire them both at the same time. And if you hit crits with them, it's a devastating attack. And here is another place to pick up an arquebus. So if you didn't go up and deal with Chimera, then this is another place to pick one up. Now, out here, I believe... we do have some more dead bodies down here, but I think there might... I can't remember if this is the one that has an ambush or not. Okay, no, it's not this one. And again, we're not going to explore across the river just yet. Okay, now the spiders are out here. I think we can climb this. Okay, not this side.
Take your best. On your right.
Yes, we can climb up here.
Another down.
Okay. So that was fairly straightforward, and then I think we saw last time that we don't have the range probably for the elders. The elder here, so we'll try and sneak up behind him. Try and make our way down here without taking any damage. It's always iffy. Okay. More Paradise ladder is always good. And let's go try and sneak up behind the elder here.
Coming from your right.
Easy.
We make a good squad.
And go search the elder here. Okay, so you can see how much of an increasing overall combat power we have just by picking up some of this. Now we do have an area here which has an icon for Firestarter. Now this is one of Kai's abilities. He has the Firestarter ability.
Aye, aye.
Ready, aim.
Coming in hot. Here it comes.
And doesn't look like there's anything in here. But that will illustrate how the fire starter ability works. And here's your tutorial for it that
Stand
just
back.
popped up. It's going to be very, very useful as we go through this.
Aye, aye. Stand back.
And you can have multiple fire starter abilities going at the same time.
Here it comes.
Okay, now the one exception we're going to make to exploring across the river is here. And that's because we have a bear here with some steel-plated boots we can pick up. Okay, so looking at our map, you can see that we're starting to explore a little bit more northward here. So we're going to start kind of working our way back toward the west, southwest, and exploring a little bit more north of the areas that we've already opened up. You see, we have some more enemies down here. And this one is another young black bear.
Another one down.
And I can one-shot young black bears with the arquebus. So, an incredibly powerful weapon to have early game. Don't sleep on it. And this is a black bear. So, a full-grown one. We have the high ground here. So we'll look up here towards all of these dead bodies.
Wilds are getting deadlier by the day, but people have to eat.
And there's another waypoint right there, and there's another bear. This is a regular black bear again.
Next one's mine. Hey! Over here!
Turns out there were two. And the good thing about pairing the arquebus up with these two pistols is that you can swap out. You can change weapons to your secondary loadout, and they're already loaded. So you don't have to wait for your arquebus to reload itself. You can instantly swap over to two more loaded firearms to use. Okay, so let's kind of head back here toward the river. Okay, now don't have the range the arquebus does. Okay, I took it out. Okay, we have another house here, and this house, the door is barred, so we got to find another way in. by now you should be fairly adept at finding your way into places by looking around for different entrances.
Not bad. It's got natural light, right on the river, just needs a little upkeep.
And you learn about the gardener who used to live here. Things didn't work out very well. And there's a chest. And there we got some brigandine armor. Now this is, I believe, the first heavy armor that we have seen. Not something that we're going to try and focus on. We're going to be more medium armor based as a ranger. Head around the corner here. There should be another tracking hole, I believe. Yep. And again, we're not going to be exploring on the other side of the river over there, so we'll head back a little ways. Toward the main quest marker.
Through here. Who poisons us? We cannot see.
Okay, so as we get close to the main quest marker, we start to hear a voice. And I believe there's still a few things that we can explore over here before we head in there. So we'll do a little bit more exploration, looking for some enemies
This used to be a
deal
shortcut
with.
to Emerald Stair. Then the land got other
Ah,
ideas.
yes. This thing. So the collapsed gatehouse. I'm going to drop a save here. And I have some health that I need to restore, so I'm going to take one of these cooked rabbits or roasted chickens. Now on the bottom left you can see that I'm full up, and you see there's a food icon next to it. If your food restores more health than you need, that food will stay in reserve. So as I lose health, that food will replenish it until that amount of food is depleted. Okay, so we're going to head in here, pick up a few things. And get ready. Because when you loot this person, you're going to get ambushed.
This one's mine. One for you!
By phantoms. And you can see the damage I took was instant, or not instantly. There is a health over time restoration rate that it gives. But my food replenished my health again, and I still have a lot of it left. Okay, so just be prepared for the ambush there. If you're unprepared for it, it can get a little interesting. Because they do tend to want to face hug you, and they have an aura, a damaging aura about them. Okay, we have our next group of enemies here. Okay, and we have more Xaurips and a Xaurip forager. I think there's a guard down there somewhere as well.
How'd you do that? Is that all you got?
Okay, so none of that looked like it. So if you do have distance and you have range, the arquebus is an amazing weapon to use. Truly devastating to your enemies.
You take lead.
So we've got 2 guards here. Let's see if we can one-shot one of them. Nope, we missed. He was turned away from us. Okay, so he's coming up close. And you can see our food down there replenishing our health after we're done. Oh. Guess there was a body to be searched. And we can climb back up here. We'll go down and we'll pick up body here. And then we can search this little area here. Okay, so you can see we have an enemy over here. And judging by what's up here, these are probably spiders.
Nice!
Okay, and the seaside cavern can be a little dangerous because of this area here. So we're going to, again, drop a save. Okay, and we're going to have a fight here. Now, this fight is protracted. Okay, and is triggered by the chest in the middle. So I would recommend that you try and get yourself a little distance from this as you go. Kai can certainly help you soak up some damage, but you want to save some resources for later on in this fight. Okay, and look around the outside because there are some items left from previous adventurers here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loot this and I'm going to kind of move my way back up there toward the entrance.
Oh, no, you don't! Come on!
And you can see it spawned a bigger spider down there now.
Left leg. That's more like it. Come and get me.
taking a lot of damage from this guy here, so let's try and get rid of him. Okay. So like I say, the fight is rather protracted, so you want to make sure that you're keeping your distance as much as you can if you're ranged like we are. But if you do get into a melee fight there, make sure you watch your health, because it can be seriously depleted pretty quick by the 2 ivory spiderlings at the end. Oh, Kai's poisoned. I was like, why isn't Kai healing? He's poisoned. That's the other thing about the spiders, that they can poison you. If they do, that's damage over time, and your food will not outpace the poison damage. You will need to use healing potions to outpace that damage. Okay, but once it's done, Kai should heal up fully.
Ready, aim.
And out here, this gives us access to another way down below the Xaurip camp. And they keep doing that every time. I'm too used to Baldur's Gate hotkeys. So instead of swapping my weapons out, I'm triggering my spell. So we'll do a little quick search around out here. And then we're going to head up to the Xaurip camp. Some high value food and some more cooking ingredients. The dagger here and a letter. So fish in area of strange growth, possibly fungal, rot in the water, do not catch, do not eat. Okay, so now we can head up this way, and we'll kind of be on approach to the Xaurip camp. You can see the Xaurip camp above me. You can see a large number of enemies here. We're going to go have this fight. The other thing that we need to do is we need to break through this wall. And we do that by targeting the barrel. That'll blow a hole in the wall, and you'll be able to see the Xaurip on the other side. Now, you can't go around the right-hand side of this, but what this does is allows you to get
unseen
sneak attack against the forager. Okay, well, he turned around at the last second there. Yeah, for some reason he jumped into the fire and then turned around and looked right at me. So again, a guard and a forager. We'll take out the forager first. Now I need to watch my flank here, because gunshots will alert enemies, like it said. While Kai is fighting, I will wait for this one to come up here. Come here. So it worked good. Let's go check on all these bodies. And we're not going to search too close to the camp here, because the main enemies are up there. And again, not too close, because again, the main enemies are up there. But we can... This is right where we came in. We came down this ledge here. So let's go over here and search all these bodies that we laid out. Okay, looks like we have another group above us. Let's go see what this group is all about. See if we can
Xaurip's
start off maybe with a sneak attack. Okay, we can't, but... Well, we can over there, but it's not really worth it. Let's go ahead and start with the guard.
Next one's mine.
Okay, a bunch more crafting ingredients, which is always good to have, and there's another... crafting ingredient on the other side of the wall, I think. Another paradisant ladder, which we always want to get. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to go take on the main camp up here. Which is up here. Well, it's on the other side of this ridge. It's over there. Okay, we do have another chest here and some kith food. Now this one needs 3 lockpicks. Okay, we only have 2, so we're gonna have to come back to it once we find a 3rd lockpick. And this one, I believe we can start off with a sneak attack. So let's see if we can start off with a sneak attack. Then we will switch to our arquebus, get off some big damage, then we'll swap to our pistols, kind of go from there. Now there is a young black bear here as well. Actually, we can't start off with a sneak attack here. Now there are a bunch of enemies here. Okay, the Elder is a big problem for us. Let's go ahead and drop a save, just to be on the safe side. And we'll try and take him out first, I think.
Tiger on my side.
So I'm going to go to my food item here, and I'm going to take some mariner's porridge. Okay.
Another
Deal.
win, but who's counting?
So being able to take out the Elder like that at the start of the fight is really, really nice. Pick up some more fire bombs here. And let's start searching. So a Xaurip tongue, which is good. We need that for upgrades. Bear claws, again, going to be used for upgrades. There is a body down here, don't forget. And last is the body here. Now this body's glowing orange, and that's because there is a unique item here, the steel Garrote boots. There's a book that talks about what they're doing up here. Wasn't all that great of an idea that they had, and it obviously didn't work out very well. Okay, so looking at our map, you can see that we've now explored most of this southern area here. So we're going to head up towards Strangleroot and go on with the main quest line. Before I do, I'm going to head back to camp because we can fast travel back right up here. So we're going to head back to camp and see if we can upgrade Karak's Pride. I don't think we'll be able to enchant it, but we might be able to upgrade it. Okay, and we can upgrade it. So this is going to get us another 25% damage. Okay, and now to get it up to the fine tier again, we're going to need different items. And one thing that's key here is the Adra. To move unique items from one tier to the next, you need to have Adra. So you can see right here, to go from tier to tier, we need 4 Adra. From here, we're going to need 4 Awakened Adra, and so on and so forth through this. We're going to need Corrupted Adra, and then here we would need Adrabon. Okay, so you're going to need Adra to move unique weapons between tiers. Okay, so our common pistol, we can upgrade it though, and we want the extra 33% damage here. And then here, you can see that we've got all the Xaurip tongue we need, but we don't have any awakened wood to be able to upgrade Karak's Pride. Let's go back to our cooking station and see what we can do with food here. Because we're looking for high health regeneration foods. Okay, so we've got another turbot that we can craft. There, here we go. We can craft 3 of these. And we'll craft 2 of these. Okay, and now I think we're ready. So we're going to leave our camp. We'll just exit here because we're going to fast travel back up north. Actually, let's travel here and we'll kind of walk through. Well, we can do up here and work backwards, I guess. So we'll go southwest and then south and kind of open up this map a little bit. I can't remember if there's anything in here. The open areas I don't normally take notes on, but... So we'll head back south through this and just quickly look and see if there are any enemies or any searchable items in here. remember if there's anything in this. There's not. Yeah, we'll head up here. Okay, so nothing. I don't think there's anything in here. Yeah, there's not. Okay, so we're going to head over to Strangleroot, and we will end the episode today by going through the main quest line. There's an enemy at the end of this. There's a boss enemy at the end of this, and it can get pretty hairy. I would not recommend that you do this until you've gone through some weapon upgrades and some level ups, because you're going to need it.
Odd. Didn't used to be this overgrown. I can take care of that if you want.
Okay, and you can see up at the top that fast travel is disabled, and here we have a dirt speckled amulet. This is a quest item. Okay, here, and it says a small dingy amulet with a tag on the back. My dear Valter, yours always. Worth more in sentiment than coin. We know who Valter is. So Valter is at the market, and his wife gave him this. So there's a possibility that we have some quest or some implications of turning this back in.
I'm always telling visitors we're not as crazy as they've heard.
So we do have some enemies on the other side of this.
Coming in hot.
And there's a young black bear here. We can get the crit. We can one-shot this, but I don't think we can.
You take lead.
Yep, we can.
Nice shot.
Okay, so some more food items, and again, raw items can be cooked, or, rotten items can be cooked. So let's see if we can get a crit on the bear here. We can. See if we can get another one while it's coming at us. You see we're kind of stacking up afflictions. You can see the icons. So because of our weapons, we're doing additional shock damage, but because of our ring here, we're doing critical hits deal poison damage, and because of our gloves, power attacks deal fire damage. So we're kind of stacking up a bunch of damage types on them, which is all good for damage over time. So we got some bodies here. Some more good crafting ingredients, and as always, don't forget the Paradisa ladder.
It's almost like the brambles are trying to crush that house. Stand back.
And now you can see we're back where we started with the bear encounter.
That's a bad way to go.
Okay, so now let's head back out, and you see the quest marker wants us to go that way, but there are some other things that we can take a look at. And here we have some more Xaurip.
Xaurups? They don't usually venture out here. Wonder what's got them riled up.
Nice!
You're mine now!
Okay, so during that encounter, you're going to get ambushed
I was just getting warmed up.
from behind, so just be prepared for it. And there's some notes here of their journey into the Strangleroot. Obviously didn't go very well.
Something
And one
here
more body
feels
here.
off.
This little area is going to have a health potion, which is very useful. Since I have some health missing, I'm going to look at my food. I'm going to save the cooked rabbit for the end, and the roast chicken. And the cured here. I'm going to take, yeah, I've got a bunch of 150s, which is good. I'm going to take a 70 here.
Aye, aye.
And store up some of that food health. And another young black bear. And I think this one's asleep. The devastating combo. It really is.
The scourge invades. Claw it out.
Okay, and I don't think there's anything out here for you to search or to go to. You can't climb up there.
It breathes. It is close.
Okay, so something's letting us know that we're getting closer to something. Okay, and here is your point of no return. Alright, now the ambassador is right there. Okay, but once you go down here, you're not going to be able to get back out of here until you deal with what's in there. We're going to resume our game, or we're going to put a save in here, sorry, and then resume. And you're going to have an extended fight on your hands here. And you need to make sure that you watch your health and that you let Kai take as much of the damage as possible during this.
That's the claviger. What happened?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the bear and we'll talk after.
Okay, he says get rid of the bear. You have to kill the afflicted bear, and you can see there's a bear in there. The Dream Thrall Elder Brown Bear. Okay, now I can start this off with an attack from here, but I'd prefer not to. I'm going to go look at the Claviger, and there's a letter here. Cannot dispatch any more animancers to your grove, not until you guarantee their safe passage. Okay, and us guaranteeing that safe passage is going to have to be with dealing with this bear. So I'm going to, again, kind of wait for him to move a little bit. I'm going to start off the attack. I'm going to root him in place. Then I'm going to get Kai to attack, and then I'm just going to start wailing on him with every ranged weapon that I have.
What's the target?
Come and get me!
No, and I missed them both. And there's the damage over time ticking around. You can see how much
monstrosity.
easier it made that fight.
What happened to that?
Okay, now here's some Adra. Another health potion, another essence potion. Now the ambassador wants to speak to us, and we will speak with him. But I want to loot a little bit first. Get a couple of bear claws. Because once you talk to the ambassador, he's going to want to follow you. Here we have a large Adra stone. That you won't be able to access until you talk to the ambassador. Okay, so I think we're... Oh yeah, good. Don't forget unflinching duty. This is a unique shield.
Poor bastard.
Okay, that gives you a 5% chance to avoid melee damage and 20% maximum stamina. So it's really good for your fighter types, your single-hand fighter types. I tend not to focus on it. There are a couple of times when I use it with K-Rock's Pride in my primary and unflinching in my secondary, but most of the time I use the common pistol.
One of Ludwine's toy soldiers. I never even learned their name. Not that it would have done us any good.
And I'm encumbered, so we're going to break down some of these. And I don't need the shields. Okay. Go get this last piece here, and that's where I'm going to end up going here in a second.
Oh, my savior. Oh, thank the gods. Your arrival couldn't have been more timely. Ambassador Falchion Heelguard at your service. And you must be our Imperial envoy. Better late than never, I say. Keep it close until we're back at the embassy. I prefer to take bad news in the comfort of my office. Aren't you going to introduce me to your capable companion? Can he be trusted? I found it pays to be prudent about the company you keep in Paradise. The Empire doesn't have many friends on these shores.
Hey, not with that attitude.
I'm charmed. I take it you had business with the Claviger? Poor fellow. It was the bear that killed him, of course. This wilderness has been a little too wild of late. I expected flora and fauna, not a ravenous monster. We heard alarming reports of a blight in the wilderness, and a strange corruption moving toward the city. The changes in the ecosystem are expected, but this one was progressing too rapidly to ignore. We tracked the corruption all the way here, but all we found was that creature gone mad. So, the rumors of plague were true. The situation is more dire than I imagined. We need a plan of action before whatever this is consumes the living lands.
We are here. Come to us. Commune with us. We have waited for you. Come.
What's the matter? Can you hear me? But you... Very well, if you say so. The Emperor trusts your judgment, and so do I. Whatever you think is best, I'll support it. You know something of our troubles. That much is clear. What would you have us do? You suspect a connection. Interesting. Ardra is said to be filled with essence, soul stuff. And maybe the essence will respond to a godlike's touch. Just be careful. The Emperor would never forgive me if anything happened to you.
Take it slow. We'll be right here.
Okay, and now it wants us to go talk to the Adra-Pillar.
It is you. Come closer. We feared you were but a dream. We wake from seasons of slumber. We have been waiting. We were drowning in our nightmares for so long. Your hand was a branch. Escape! We reached for you. And you are familiar to us. Our memories are fractured. But you too are alone in your strangeness. A rot eats at the foundation of this land. Corruption seeps into the soil. It spreads and festers and seeps and crawls. Poor bear. Poor us. Poor you. Yes, the air sings with its spores. It is everywhere. We can feel it. We fear it. We can see where it spreads. It is an infection. A foreign body invades, the host fights back. We feel the pain of this intrusion. It overwhelms us. If an animal sickens after a fight, as it howls and sings its agony, what do you do? Nurse it, care for it, grow it like the vines. We were loved once, perhaps. We remember, almost. A thought, like motion in the water. The rot festers. We could suck the poison out, let green things grow in its place, and we could give you the gift of our healing touch. But a favor for a favor. Would you help us in return when we ask it?
Okay, now this choice here actually has a consequence. If you choose to help the voice, you're gonna unlock a power here that they've just talked about. The power to heal and resurrect. Or the power to heal and be healed. If you turn it down, then you're going to gain a single ability point. It's well worth your while to go along with this.
A favor for a favor then. This place shall heal, and you shall know our power. We tire. New again this world, new again words. We will find you soon.
And that's going to unlock a new area and also give us our first godlike ability, Dream Touch. So it's an active ability, which means you have to use your ability wheel to toggle it. It heals and revives, well, not your, but you could use a quick key as well. Heals and revives all nearby allies and deals damage over time to nearby Dehengen, Dream Thralls, and Vessels. We're going to learn more about those as we go. But we get the ability there.
Incredible. Envoy, I don't know what you did, but that was miraculous.
You all right? You look like you were in a trance for several minutes.
What happened? What can you recall? Spare no detail. You must be sensitive to the spirit world. Some are gifted, or cursed, with such talents. Inquisitor Ludwine will need to hear of this. I've agreed to share my findings with the Strangleroot, as long as they do the same. Not that she has any interest in ecology. Ludwine is obsessed with our security, sees enemies lurking around every corner. Your interests are more aligned than you know. But while you and I answer to the Emperor, Ludwine and the Strangleroot answer only to themselves. Stay out of their way, and they'll return the favor. Good. That might just save your life. We'll talk more at the embassy. I'll ensure the Paradise militia give you free passage into the city. Envoy, what you've done here is truly amazing. Let's keep up the good work, eh?
Just watch your step. There are swaths of the city barely more civilized than this.
Okay, so we are still in a non-fast travel area, and that opened up this whole area here, which we're going, but not before we go look at something else. Now you can see in our hotbar, number 3, we have our godlike ability that's down there. So this is where we came in. Okay, we've done all the exploration out here, I believe. Nope, we haven't. We've got a common mace here. And now I believe we've done it. So let's head out. Oops. And here you have...
Whatever the Inquisitor's like, she can't be worse than that bear. Can she?
So here you've got some parkour that you're going to need to do. The quest wants you to head up there, and we're eventually going to make our way up to there. But let's go look around first. More Paradise and Ladder. And I don't think there's anything under this one. There's not. Okay, but there is another body you can search here. Gonna have some studded gauntlets. And this parkour is not meant to be that difficult.
You are full of surprises, Envoy. I'd heard godlikes have strange powers, but I've never known one to heal an entire grove. Guess your Emperor really did send the right person for the job, huh? Still, you have your work cut out for you in Paradise. Enjoy the calm while you can.
The path to Paradise is a tad overgrown, but I can find my way back.
Okay, and here the ambassador is going to leave you, and he's going to stay up here for now. He will teleport himself into the city. And don't forget when you land to turn around and search the backpack. Okay, this is the area that we were just in. And then you can jump down. Now this isn't a point of no return. You can head back into the Strangleroot and make your way back up there. If you've forgotten something or haven't searched anything. Or everything. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple of things while we
Old
end
fella
the
who
episode
used to
here.
live here ended up in one of those shanties.
We
by
have
the
a
dock.
camp right here.
Now I see why.
And there's a chest around the corner. And now we do have a couple more enemies, and we have some more phantoms here, and there's 2 of them, I believe. But I think more spawn. And we do have a skeleton wizard as well, and we're going to take him out first. And you're always going to find primal wind on them.
In Rowatime,
and again, we're not going to go
good
too far across
supplies.
the bridge here.
I wonder what happened here.
We'll be coming back to explore all of this. Okay, however, we can go down here. And there's
I get
another
the feeling
body.
sometimes that this island has it in for all of us.
And again, we're not going to venture too far off of this, but I think we can get the Kraken Horn. Yes, we can. Now we're just going to make our way back south along the river. Now, on the other side of this, there's a ruinous cavern that you can go into. We're not going to be exploring too much out here. Like I said, we're going to stay on our side of the river for now. And we'll come back and use the camp here in a second. Search along the side of the river here. And I think we're okay. Let's go up here and use the camp. You don't have to. But we're going to... see if we have any upgrade options here. So, Karok's Pride, we need Adra, and we only have one of them. But the common pistol can be upgraded again, and this would be another 25% damage boost. The Arquebus we can also upgrade, and this would be a 33% damage increase. So I think we're going to do this one instead. Still nothing that we can enchant. We just don't have any awakened wood yet. And then let's see what we can cook. So we'll craft that up. We'll craft up this. I think we're good for now.
Doesn't seem like the kind of man you'd send to the frontier, does he? You seem much better suited to it.
Okay, so if we look at our map, you can see we've cleaned out or cleared out most of this upper area here. So let's just fast travel here and head straight down the road and kind of open up the rest of this map here as we head back to the city. Because there's one more thing that I definitely want to do before we end the stream today. So we're going to kind of head over to our right here and make sure there's nothing up here. Okay. Then we'll just head back down road here. And this is why you go open up the map, so that you can see if there are any crafting ingredients or anything like that that you've missed. There's probably not anything else here. Okay, so down here we now have access to the city. And you can see that it wants us to enter the city of Paradise. Okay, and the city proper is across the river here from us. So we're going to go in here and we're going to have an encounter on the bridge here. And then for the rest of the episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of exploring. There won't be all that much time left in the episode to do it, but we're going to be exploring outside the city. Okay. Around from this edge down, so all of this area here with the Fellowship Harbor, the Ketch, Shantytown here, we're going to be exploring all of that. Coming up through the end of this and the beginning of next week's episode. So let's go have a conversation on the bridge, and I want to see, I've got these. Let's make sure the arquebus is out. We're gonna save.
That's far enough, Outlander.
And you're guaranteed a conversation here. You can't avoid it.
Well, well. If it isn't the new arrival. So eager to make a name for herself. I'm your death. Swift and subtle. Like a blade in the dark. And this here is Pod.
Hello.
Well, I can see which of you two is the poet. Unfortunately, you're both short on common sense.
Me and Pod, we aren't so fond of Outlanders. Especially ones looking as strange as you. For all we know, you're one of those sick bastards. A plague carrier. A blight on our fair city. Ooh, keep talking and it'll be my fist you catch, Outlander.
Boss, maybe this ain't such a good idea.
Shut it, Pod. Let me do the talking.
You're doing great so far. Really menacing.
No one brings the plague into my town, Outlander. No one. At least you can die knowing it wasn't personal.
Okay, now there is a way to save Pod here, but you have to make two very specific dialogue choices. And the first one is right here. Okay, so you start by trying to warn him off.
Pod isn't going anywhere. Are you, kid?
I don't know.
And now here, if you tell him to scram, he gets upset and is tired of people bossing him around, and he'll start a fight where you have to fight them both. But if you pick this option here, he will leave, and you'll just have to fight her.
Is that true?
Well...
I can't do this anymore. Thieving and killing, it's just not in my blood.
You ungrateful nitwit! Once I'm done with the Outlander, I'm coming after you.
Good. I was getting tired of listening to them anyway.
Okay, now she has a quest item, the Cryptic Letter. We'll pay a handsome bounty for information on the ambassador, their daily schedule, their preferred wine. Nothing is beneath our interest and everything has a price. So she was here for a reason. Okay. And now we're going to be looking at a few things, and we're going to start looking inside the city, and we've only got about 5 minutes left here to start looking around, but we're going to cross the bridge and we're going to head down here toward Fellowship Harbor. Hey, there's a waypoint that we want to unlock. Some spring berries. Now here at the harbor there is a, not pun intended, but there is a boatload. There is a boatload of stuff that you can search here in the harbor. Okay, and you can see a chest just sitting out there, you know, waiting to be taken. So we're going to start by looking down at the water, and then we'll work our way back. And for this... Now, one thing we want to go do... I guess we can do that. That's probably a good idea. to go do it before we do anything is head back to Claviger's Landing. And check on our lockpicks. See if we have more lockpicks, because there was a purple chest up there that we didn't have the lockpicks to unlock.
Time to resupply.
And now the lockpicks are back. I know after you complete the first main quest here that you're going to be able to get more lockpicks. And now we have to remember where that box was. I think it was over at the Xaurip camp. I think. So let's go over there and see if we can find it. And this will be the last thing that we do. So that was over here to the west. Through the wall to the right here. And I think it's somewhere in this camp. Let's just go looking around a little bit. Should have paid attention more. I just remember saying that we'd have to come back here to get it, but I'm pretty sure it's in here. And it might be over there, but we'll go look around here. Here it is, right here. Perfect. So some paradise ladders, some more softwood branches, and a common robe. So well worth it as far as the crafting supplies go. So now we can head to the paradise main gate. And we'll quickly head back where we were and drop a save. Okay, so here's where we were. We know what this is. This is where we fought the two phantoms and got the Wayfarer's boots, or not the Wayfarer's boots, where we got the Arcanus boots, I believe, is what we... No, it was the Wayfarer's boots that were down there. So we know what's down there. We don't need to go down there again. There's a crafting ingredient here, and we were just up top there. This door need a storeroom key for?
Unless you found the missing key, I can't really talk right now.
And you see, they were just talking about it, that they're missing the key. Okay, an axe laying out here. And you can jump on all of these ships, but there's nothing out there. Okay, and I don't... Yep, and you can't climb on those. And as far as this goes, I guess we can try this. Okay, so here, you can jump here. You can jump here. And yeah, you can't make that one. I don't think it's this one that we're getting up to. No, it's not. It's not this one. There's another one of these that we're going to be looking at here in a second. Okay, so again, you can head out here. You can jump on the warship if you'd like. There's nothing over there
You're finally here. Where's the rest
for
of
you to look at.
They shouldn't be far
But you can make the jump over there. And there's
don't know why I bother.
the commander of
At this rate, I'd
the
settle for competence.
Endearing Compliment here. And a well-worn book that you can read for some more lore. And then you can see that there's multiple parkour locations around here to deal with. And that's what we're going to be dealing with starting off our next week's episode. Okay, this gives us a really good point to end it. We'll start off with some exploration. And we're going to have a couple of more side quests that we're going to be able to pick up over in Shantytown. And we're going to find a lot of chests around here that you have to parkour all around this area to try and find. So it'd be good for you to follow along so you'll know where all of these are next week. So again, sorry for the uploaded episode. Hopefully now next week's live stream should be working again. I think I've got all the video problems worked out. So thank you all for being patient and waiting for the upload of this video. But as always, without your support, none of this would be possible. So thank you for that very much. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.